It's a battle as old as gaming itself. Which is better, a gaming PC or a console? And with the recent release of the new generation PS5 and Xbox Series X, this feud has had a resurgence. With so many options floating around, it's easy to get lost in the sea of emotions and not adhere to the facts. So that's what we're gonna be doing today, cutting through the nostalgia, slicing through them feelings, and putting an end to the battle. And now, it's time to crown the gaming queen. Let's dive into it. The first major factor in this decision is budget, and at the end of the day, it all comes down to this. We can't talk about specs or anything else without actually buying our gaming rig. And like most big purchases, we're also searching for the best bang of our buck. And this is where PCs and consoles have no clear edge over each other. On one hand, with a console, there are controllers, games, and different add-ons to inflate the cost if you choose. But the actual console itself is usually stuck with a few different models and price points. Whereas with PCs, it's a more complex story, where you can entirely choose the price of your rig based on a varying combination of parts. One thing's for certain, however, which is PCs allow more flexibility with your budget, even if they tend to be pricier for similar performance. Here's where the two start to diverge a ton when it comes to upgradability. With consoles, there's very little room to change or modify it at all, let alone upgrade. Even though the very few upgrades that are available can be installed with little issue, the sheer limit is a major shortcoming of consoles. On the flip side, this is where PCs have one of their biggest strengths, as they can be changed essentially everywhere you look. Graphics cards, RAM, motherboard, cooling system. If it's a PC part, odds are it can be changed or upgraded. And while it can be intimidating to make these modifications, and it can require some technical skill, don't let that deter you. After all, we have this useful little tool at our unconditional disposal called the internet. Speaking of, make sure to stay tuned because Shopahs.com will be sharing some PC component tips and how-tos. Now, let's move on to what matters most to the average gamer. The games. When buying games, the upfront cost of the PC can be a tough pill to swallow for some. This is misleading, of course, since games and controllers for consoles end up far surpassing the PC's initial investment. If I were you, I'd start with a PC case and slowly start to accumulate the perfect build, since that's part of the beauty of it. You can just gradually collect parts to build an absolute monster and just blow away the current console you have. PCs simply have a more unstructured and free way of playing, since you have access to cheap games and online multiplayer, on top of the usual AAA ones. We also can't tackle the PC gaming space without mentioning the queen platform, Steam. If you aren't familiar, it's simply a social platform that also serves as a hub for millions of huge games, akin to Xbox Live or PlayStation Network. And those with a tight budget will definitely appreciate the extended free game library that Steam offers. And of course, with gaming, we also need to acknowledge the professional gaming industry that lives on PCs. Esports grows rapidly with every passing day, with titans like League of Legends and Dota 2. They wouldn't be available at all if not for gaming PCs. So if you want to go pro, you're gonna want to get on it. Speaking of pro, you should also proceed to shopahsgaming.com for some amazing gaming gear. So, what's the answer? We tackled the biggest factor in the decision between PCs and consoles: pricing, upgradability, and games. And when we said we would crown a definitive gaming queen, it's incredibly situational. PCs may be queen for some, and consoles may be queen for others. If you prefer a simplistic experience, you might opt for a console to keep things clean and easy. But if you prefer a more specialized and freeing gaming life, we have to recommend a PC. In general, purely for the flexibility it gives. So, if you're interested in getting your hands on the best gaming PC, or even starting from scratch, head on over to shopahsgaming.com, the gamer's paradise. We have got your back when it comes to the best in gaming, and we can't wait to hear from you. My name is Stellar Snow, and I'm partner with Shopahs. So if you found this interesting or helpful in any way, and you think you just found the best way to go for your next build, head on over to shopahsgaming.com. Have a great day! Are you an influencer and interested in collaborating with Shopahs? Well, reach out to us at support@shopahs.com. We'd love to chat.